going on, y'all? In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the top 5 best class setups that you should be using right now in Modern Warfare 3. At the time of me recording this, the game is currently free to play for the next few days. It's also discounted, so you can get it for cheaper. Christmas is around the corner. I know there's gonna be a bunch of brand new players, but the beauty of the class setups I'm giving you today, they're not only good for new players, they're also very good for people who've been playing the entire time. So without wasting any more time, if you guys are brand new, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with that bell icon rung, and you'll be notified the next time I upload on this channel. We upload daily Modern Warfare 3 videos. I'm sure you guys will enjoy them, and then click that thumbs up button. It helps us out in the algorithm and helps grow the channel. With all that being said, let's get into the first class setup. Now we're gonna be starting off with the Striker, which is the first SMG you unlock. It's, in my opinion, the easiest one to use. Has very low recoil, amazing range. So here's the build. We got the 60-round drum, so we can take out multiple enemies without having to reload. Worst thing in Call of Duty is having to reload, getting caught reloading, and then dying on your streak. So make sure you have this on so that doesn't happen. I threw on the X10 Phantom 5 hand stop. The two most important perks of mobility are sprint to fire, meaning your weapon comes up quicker after sprinting, and aim down sight speed, so you can be quick and snappy and just ready to go. Most important ones. That's what this gives us, and a pretty good amount of it. And on top of that, we get better vertical and gun kick recoil control. So we're gonna be landing a lot more of our shots. Awesome, beautiful attachment right here. I then threw on the L4R flash hider muzzle, and this really kind of just pushes you to the next point. So with this and our underbarrel, you are going to be landing every single shot. Huge boost in the recoil control once again. I then threw on the Striker stubby barrel, which is kind of a movement barrel, but the good thing about it is you don't lose out on too much of your range, and you'll notice that in game. This was recently buffed in Season 1 as well, which is very, very helpful. And then my final attachment here is the Lockman Mark II light stock. You get movement speed and sprint speed, so you can get around the map a lot more quickly, get a lot more kills, and just overall be more aggressive. We could take this to the firing range, and you're gonna see. So we just kind of stocked up on mobility, which is looking really good, and recoil control. And you're gonna see the range is still unbelievable. You're able to do this with an SMG. This is why it's in the top 5. For class setup number 2, we have the Bass B, which I believe is the most dominant long-range weapon. And once we've had to the firing range, you're gonna see why that is. We have the 45-round magazine, so we take out multiple enemies without having to reload once again. I ain't gonna lie, there's times where I've ran around the 30, and I'm a guy who loves a bigger magazine, but I mean, seriously, it kills so quick. You could take out more than you think with the 30 round, but again, personal preference, I swap between the two quite a bit. I have the high grain round. I'm just making this thing more broken as it is. Huge boost in bullet velocity and damage range, and this is going to extend those 2-shot kills to further ranges, which is very nice. I then throw in the Bruin Bastion angled grip, and this is just gonna help me land a lot more of my shots. With the weapon this strong, you do not want to be missing your bullets, or you're just gonna increase the TTK and make it delayed, make it longer. That's never good. So make sure you have this on so you're actually landing your shots. Throw on an optic. The iron sights, they're not bad. They're just not super clean in my opinion. So I like to throw on an optic. You could do the slate reflector. This MW2 optic's very good. They also have this, the NIDAR, which is super open, and then the Mark III reflector. A lot of good options, just throw one on. And then my final attachment is the Ravage CS stock. Keep in mind, this is a battle rifle. This isn't even an assault rifle, so the mobility is gonna be a little bit lower than usual. So throw this on where you get movement speed, aim down sight speed, sprint speed. So once again, you can be more aggressive, be more quick and snappy with your shots. Very, very useful. And then we could take this to the firing range, and you're just gonna see, dude, like, what? The thing is just busted, seriously, it is so OP. Our third class setup, we have an actual assault rifle, the MCW, AKA the ACR. So I got the 60-round drum. Once again, I could take out so many enemies without having to reload, very, very helpful. I throw in the Spirit Fire Suppressor. Off the radar, enemies don't know where you're at. Better recoil control, you're landing so many of your shots, and an increase in bullet velocity and damage range, so it increases the power of our MCW at long-range gunfights. This gives you just a little bit of everything. Power, recoil control, and stealthiness with the suppressor. So this is like my go-to muzzle when I want to throw on a suppressor. Like this one right here, it does it all. It's great. I then throw in the Midnight Barrel, and you get bullet velocity and range. Once again, just increasing the power of the weapon at long ranges. And surprisingly enough, you get some movement speed and aim down sight speed by putting this barrel on, which doesn't really happen usually, so that's very helpful. I like to throw on an optic. The iron sights aren't even bad, actually. They're very clean, they're very open. I just prefer an optic on this weapon, so I went with the slate reflector. If you don't want an optic on it, you could probably go with this rear grip right here, this one right, like one of these two are very, very good, but I usually just keep an optic on it. And then my final attachment is the RB Regal Heavy Stock. I'm going to be using this at very long ranges. I'm going to be sitting back, maybe, you know, just playing a lot more passive, patrolling one area, playing for some kill streaks. So my gun fights are going to be at longer ranges. I want to be accurate. So with this, I get recoil control and gun kick control. A very straightforward build, nothing too crazy to break down. And we can head in the firing range and you're going to see a little bit on the slower side, which is okay. It's not too ridiculously slow. But the real power here is just like it's zero effort to use the weapon. Like I could sit back here in the firing range and it's just very low effort of a weapon to use. It's a laser beam. You really just can never go wrong with using the MCW. I love this thing so much. For the fourth class setup, we have what I think is the close range meta. It takes the cake. When it comes to just right in front of someone's face, you're not losing with the WSP Swarm. Now, the crazy thing about it, what makes it so great is the fire rate. I think it has the highest fire rate in all of Modern Warfare 3. So with that being said, you're gonna need a huge magazine. Now I do the 50. I think 100 just slows you down a little too much, but if you wanna get crazy with it, go right ahead. I've done it before. Just keep in mind it does slow you down. So 50, it gets the job done. And I don't think you'll be caught reloading too often. For my rear grip, we have the Marauder grip. Once again, it has a high fire rate, which means it's going to be very hard to control. So with that being said, throw this on, you get a huge boost in your recoil control, but that's just not enough. You're going to need this stock, and this is what really brings this weapon down in recoil, and that is the FSS Fortress Heavy Stock. So boosting your gun kick control, recoil control, very nice. And then I got to add on to it, this barrel, the WSP Optic Long Barrel, you get another increase in recoil control and gun kick control. So with this barrel, this stock, and this rear grip, you can actually participate in medium range gunfights, and it works just as well as it does up close. So it's a lot more versatile when you have these three attachments on. And then I threw on an optic, which is something I recently did because the iron sights just aren't the clearest. I just don't think everyone likes them. I personally don't mind them, but for the sake of new players, I think you should throw an optic on so you can see a little bit clearly. And then in the firing range, I mean, you're gonna see. So real quick, yeah, the fire rate is insane. So keep that in mind when we're participating in a gunfight like that. All right, ready, here we go. Very good. Very good. I'm controlling it with ease, and it has that high of a fire rate. Right here, you honestly shouldn't be doing this, but you could do it. I mean, this is the close range meta weapon of Modern Warfare 3. It is just so broken. Now for the fifth and final class setup, we have kind of what is my personal favorite, the DG56 assault rifle. It's a burst fire AR, and man, this puts some work in. It's great. So my first attachment here is the 40 round magazine. I have experimented with the 60. For me, it just slows you down way too much. I normally would throw this on just because it's a burst fire weapon. You kind of fly through ammo quicker than you think, but it slows me down too much. Unless you really plan on sitting back, please do the 40. You'll do yourself a favor. I have on the hardened rubber CQC butt plate. What a name for a stock. What the hell? You get an increase in aim down sight speed, so you can be quick and snappy with your shots. We get aim walking speed, so we can strafe quicker, making it way more challenging for the enemies to land shots on you. And movement speed, which helps play a lot more aggressive in game. You're gonna need an optic. The iron sights are pretty atrocious in my opinion, so I got the slate reflector. You could do the other ones I named. Once again, the NIDAR model is very, very good. And the Mark III reflector. All personal preference. I recommend trying all three of them out before choosing one. We have the CDG T25 light barrel, and this increases your bullet velocity and range. Once again, you're just going to be so much stronger, more powerful at medium to long range gunfights. And not to mention, you get more aim walking speed and movement speed, which is really nice. And then my final attachment is probably my favorite one, the Spirit Fire Suppressor, which you guys have seen on previous setups. Once again, off the radar, enemies don't know where you're at. Better recoil control, you're landing more shots, and another increase in bullet velocity and damage range, which you can never go wrong with. And then we could bring this to the firing range, just like the other 4 weapons we've covered. And once again, I love burst fire weapons in Call of Duty. They just, so it's just, they're so easy to use. It's so easy to use. You could use this up close. You could use this at a range, and you're gonna be doing the same. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And then as it pertains to the rest of my loadout, no matter what 5 weapons of these you use, I use this CCT So if you throw this on, you actually get an extra perk over here. So I got Scavenger, so I can keep using my own weapon. I got lightweight boots, which gives me increased movement and swim speed. Once again, just adding on to me being aggressive and getting more kills. I have EOD padding, which is essentially flak jacket from in previous Call of Duties, protects you from explosives. And then I got mag holster, which improves my reload speed, essentially sleight of hand. So that's the go-to right there. And then here's my pistol setup. I use this all the time. You know, you can copy that down. I'm not gonna go too crazy in depth about it. And this gives you some pretty decent range. It's very reliable if you do run out of ammo in your primary. With all that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope these 5 class tips helped you out, whether you've been playing or you're brand new. And that's pretty much it. See y'all in the next one. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.